Passive IP and PoE coaxial transmission. Save time and money when upgrading your network equipment. The IP01 is an IP coaxial extender that lets you transmit network data over coaxial cables, making it easier to reuse existing coaxial wiring. The IP01P is the PoE version, transmitting both network data and PoE signals over coaxial cables. If you're upgrading from analog cameras to IP or PoE cameras, want to avoid the hassle of laying new network cables, the IP01 and IP01P extender is your solution. With this passive extender, you only need to upgrade your NVR and IP or PoE cameras. Being passive means it doesn't require power. SC&T also offers an active, long-distance PoE version, IP09CP. Installation steps, IP version. For this setup, you'll need an Ethernet switch, an IP camera, a set of IP01 units, Ethernet cables, a coaxial cable, and a PC or NVR. Connect the IP camera to a power source, then connect it to the IP01. Attach the coaxial cable to the IP01. Run an Ethernet cable from the Ethernet switch to the second IP01 unit. Connect the coaxial cable to the second IP01. Run an Ethernet cable from the Ethernet switch to the PC or NVR. Installation complete. No external power is needed for the IP01, it's ready to go. Installation steps, PoE version. The setup steps are similar to the IP version, with a few differences. Here, you'll need a PoE switch, a PoE camera, a set of IP01P units, a network cable, a coaxial cable, and a PC or NVR. Connect an Ethernet cable from the PoE camera to the IP01P. Attach the coaxial cable to the IP01P. Run an Ethernet cable from the PoE switch to the second IP01P unit. Connect the coaxial cable to the second IP01P. Run an Ethernet cable from the PoE switch to the PC or NVR. Installation is complete. The IP01P is powered by the PoE switch. It supports up to 20 watts over 328 feet. Be sure to check the compatibility between your PoE camera and PoE switch. Maximum range, 984 feet and PoE up to 15 watt. For coaxial cables like RG6U, the IP01 can transmit up to 984 feet with a 10 megabits per second bandwidth, while the IP01P can provide up to 15 watts of power over the same distance. Be sure to confirm the specifications of your coaxial cable and the required distance. Use the guide provided in the manual to determine the transmission rate based on your setup. You may need to log into the PoE switch's backend and set the transmission rate to match your specs for stable data transmission. For example, when transmitting over 656 feet with an RG6U cable, using auto-detect for transmission rates may cause data loss. Connect to the PoE switch's backend and manually set the port speed to 10 megabits per second for optimal performance. Troubleshooting. If you follow the setup instructions for IP01P but still encounter issues, here are some tips. Power issues, adjust midspan and endspan. Midspan and endspan affect power transmission. If the Ethernet port on the IP01P, PoE switch, or camera does not display the amber light, indicating power, adjust the midspan and endspan settings until the amber light confirms a power connection. Data transmission issues, use an Ethernet crossover cable. If the Ethernet port still doesn't show the orange, power, or green, data, light, try connecting the provided Ethernet crossover cable, then repeat the midspan and endspan setup until all Ethernet ports display solid orange and green lights. You can also refer to the product manual for further guidance. For even greater distances, SC&T offers equipment that supports transmission over coaxial cables up to 1,640 to 3,280 feet, with bandwidth ranging from 10 megabits per second to 100 megabits per second. Even at 3,280 feet, it can deliver 10 watts of power. Proven in projects, reducing installation time and cost. Our system integration partners use SC&T's IP, PoE over coaxial solutions for private properties, university campuses, and highway surveillance upgrade projects. These projects share common challenges, such as high cable replacement costs, disruption from rewiring, or perfectly usable old cabling. Additionally, most coaxial cables are more durable than network cables, so system integrators often choose to retain the robust coaxial infrastructure to reduce maintenance needs.